Doing?
Morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good, good. Looks very nice and sunny where you are.
Yes, it's very cold though.
Oh yeah, very cold. Very cold but sunny. Well, welcome. We are so happy to have you as our first speaker of Thursday. But you are here to tell us all about Danone. And am I saying it right? Is that how you say?
I say Danone,
Oh,
but
Danone.
being a global organization, there's lots of different ways to pronounce Danone. And actually, we did a video a couple of years ago because we kept hearing that everyone was calling our name differently. So there's not one consistent way of saying it. So don't worry, I won't judge.
It's like potato, potato.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Well, why don't you tell everyone a bit about who Danone or Danone is and what you guys do?
Yeah, I've got a couple of slides if that's
Oh,
okay, just to talk
perfect.
through just a few slides, but I promise I don't have too many. So here we go.
I forgot you had a couple of slides. Perfect. I'm
Hopefully
sure
you
you're
can
gonna.
see that
Yeah,
okay. Perfect. Just gone to full screen and I'm just gonna, there we go.
yeah,
Okay,
great.
so yes, hi everyone. I'm Ryan. I'm the Employer Brand and Early Careers Manager at Danone. And I've been working here for just over 10 and a half years. So I'm really excited to give you just a glimpse into life at Danone. You may be familiar with some of our brands, but you may not know of Danone. So Danone are a market-leading food and beverage company, and we have three fast-growing, health-focused product portfolios. We have beverages, we have waters like Evian, Volvic, and Harrogate. We have some dairy and plant-based brands, so you might know of Activia or Alpro, and our newer brand, Get Pro. And then we also have a part of our business called Specialized Nutrition, and that's where we provide healthcare for food for specialized medical purposes. So these will be patients who have been to their doctor within the NHS and they may need tube feeding or they may need specialized food to help them recover from a period of illness or as they're going through treatment. We are the number one worldwide company for fresh dairy, plant-based products and adult nutrition. And we're number two worldwide for packaged waters and early life nutrition. And our early life nutrition brands are brands like Cow and Gate and Aptamil. So when you're in the supermarket, you may see some of our brands, or you may have some of them at home in your fridges or in your cupboards as well. We're the number six food and drink manufacturer in the UK and Ireland, so we're a very large company. We have around 90,000 employees globally and around 2,500 employees across the UK and Ireland. And in the UK, we're also the number one healthcare nutrition manufacturer, and that's through our brand called Nutricia. And we have offices in Chiswick in London, Trowbridge in Wiltshire, so that's the southwest of England near Bath. And then we also have an office in Dublin in Ireland as well. So just a little bit about us as a company. So for over 100 years, we've been bringing health through food to as many people as possible, and that's through our unique range of products. So as well as our commitment to bringing health through food, we're also committed to driving positive impact, and we do this by embedding sustainability throughout our business through our non-impact journey. And in 2023, we launched some very strong health commitments to say that 90% of our products will not be high in sugar, salt, or fat. And actually, currently, our portfolio is 98% non high in salt, sugar, or fat. So our products are very much healthy products. And we will never produce a product for children which is high in fat, salt, and sugar. So these are really strong commitments that we've made as an organisation to really stick to our principles as well. And to hold ourselves to account, we are a fully B Corp company, and B Corp is companies that are really held to account to make sure that they're delivering through purpose. And actually, as a business, we're almost 100% certified. Actually, we'll be announcing that very soon, that we are 100% certified as a B Corp as well. So very much purpose is driven at the heart of everything we do. So that's a little bit about the company, and I'm going to just give you a very light touch on our early careers program. And then I know, May, you've got a couple of questions for me. But our early careers program we launched a couple of years ago, and it's designed to empower you on your professional journey, ensuring that you have the skills and knowledge needed to thrive in your career. as part of our programs, it's slightly different to maybe other early careers programs in the market, is that we don't ask for a degree or prior work experience in order for you to apply. So when you leave school, you're able to apply to our early careers program. And the reason being is that as it's an early careers program, we don't expect candidates to have the work experience or any of that knowledge, because we can give you all of those skills and all of that knowledge you need in order to thrive in your future career. So it's a 2-year program with 2 12-month rotations. So you'll spend 1 year in one role and then you'll move into another role within that same function, so that by the end of those 2 years, you have lots of skills and experience to be really an expert within that team. And we have quarterly intakes depending on role availability. So we don't just take on once a year. Depending on roles available in the business, we'll take on 4 times a year. So therefore, there's lots of different opportunities to join us. We have a starting salary of £35,000, and we also have biannual salary reviews. So if you're performing really well in your role and you're meeting all of your objectives, then you'll have the opportunity to increase your salary twice a year. And we also do hybrid working. So the role is based from our Chiswick Park office in London, and you'll spend a couple of days in the office and you can work the rest of your time from home or in the office, wherever you want to work from. And there's lots of professional growth and on-the-job learning through peer-to-peer coaching and learning plans. So things like mentoring or modules just to help upskill you with certain skills or knowledge you might need for your future career. And then we have lots of different opportunities in all the different business functions, which you can see on the screen there. So that's very much a light touch. I'm going to answer some questions, but just wanted to say, if you wanted to keep in touch with us, you can search Danone Careers UK on Google, or you can follow us on social media as well. So I'll stop sharing my screen. And
Amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Ryan. That was really good. I feel like the first thing I always think is like, I had no idea that all these brands were owned by one company.
yeah, for sure. With some of them, you probably know really well as well and don't realise that they're part of Danone.
No. And so how do you like increase your product portfolio? Is it by buying new brands or do you actually invent products yourself?
A little bit of both. So being a global organisation, there's lots of different brands globally as well. So the brands that we have in the UK are definitely brands that you'll see in other countries for Danone, but there's also other brands that we don't currently have. A good example of that is our Get Pro brand. So it's our high protein sort of yogurts and yogurt drinks. Overseas in Europe and other countries, it's actually known as Yo Pro. But that's a brand that was doing really well in other countries, and we brought it over to the UK. Another example is our Volvic Touch of Fruit sparkling waters. We created those, and they were really, really popular. And then some of the other countries have then adopted that as well. So a little bit of both. And yes, we have acquired brands over the years as well. So, for example, Harrogate Water is one of our most recent acquisitions, and it's been going for, I think, something like 400 years. And it
Wow.
originated in Harrogate in Yorkshire, so it's a UK homegrown brand. And you'll probably see Harrogate Water in sort of like hotels,
Yeah.
airports, sort of when you're going out to sort of specific events as well. So yeah, it's one of those homegrown brands that we acquired quite recently. So yeah, it quite often changes, but we stick to our principles that we wouldn't take on a brand that's going to be high in fat, salt, or sugar, because it doesn't align with our sort of core principles of bringing health through food and drink to as many people as possible.
I love that as well. That was a really like key, I guess, stat or fact about Danone because yeah, I love that value and principle. And then I think like, as you're talking, there's a lot. I mean, how many people at Danone now, like you employ?
Yeah, so in the UK, so we work as UK and Ireland. So I sit within the UK and Ireland team, and we have about 2,500 people, which includes our factories as well. So we've got 5 factories across the UK and Ireland. And then globally, we're just over 90,000. So yeah, very,
90,000.
yes, yeah.
Wow.
So a very big global team. So and actually, it's great to work for a global company, because whilst I sit within the UK and Ireland, I get to network with sort of my counterparts in different countries as well. So I've actually got a call this afternoon with 3 colleagues from the US, the Netherlands, and France. So it's a
Wow.
great way to kind of speak to different people and hear different experiences, learn from each other's successes and challenges, and sort of try and
Yeah.
overcome sort of problems together as well.
And I think like when I was younger, what I didn't understand was that, with these huge companies and brands, global brands, there really is a role for every different type of skill set, every different type of, person. And obviously this event is around creative and creativity, and you might not necessarily put two and two together, like food and beverage brand and creativity. But as we were talking, Ryan, you were saying that a creative mindset is a huge value at Danone.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess when you think of creativity and you think of maybe what creativity is in Danone, you might just think, well, marketing. Maybe that's the only place I can go for creativity. But actually, creative mindset is actually a critical skill that we look for as part of our early careers program. And the reason being is that it's not just about sort of creating creative things, it's about having that mindset of being creative. So what I mean by that is sort of during your everyday role, it's sort of skills like anticipating risk or considering the wider implications of your plans or situations. So if you're planning a project, you need to be creative because you need to think about, are there any risks for me to deliver this solution? What could be the impact of me doing this on maybe my colleagues or the wider business or our consumer? Also, just recognizing the opportunity for an innovative approach. So I guess there's the opportunity to challenge processes or flawed processes. If you think, why have Danone been doing it this way for 3 years? Because it's not great. There's ways that we could improve this and this, and I think bringing that creative mindset and saying, I think we could do this a different way. That's what creativity really means to us. Is really pushing those boundaries and
Yeah.
finding ways to kind of challenge each other and do things in a better way so that we're constantly evolving or we're delivering things that are more creative but also more innovative that might help us to be more productive or bring a better outcome to our consumers or patients.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's what we really want to, I guess, point out is that even if you want to get in the creative industries or you want to be creative, like don't be closed minded to, what you could do. I think
Mm,
I think there's just so many different options, and even if you're working in operations or some of like the functional roles like HR or sales, like there is so much creativity in that.
yeah.
And as you've shown, what's really great working for a larger company is the starting salary. That was
Yes.
that was nice to see.
For sure, and I guess the reason being is that we expect a lot. We expect anyone joining us to deliver high performance. We want them to bring their skills, energy, and motivation. And so, therefore, the I guess the reward for that is that we're going to give you a good salary, and we're going to support you with salary increases, providing that you're performing and you're delivering everything that we expect. Then you're going to unlock those rewards as well. So, those objectives are achievable, but of course, we expect a lot out of this program because this is really going to help us deliver more for our consumers
Yeah.
as well.
Like what you put in is kind of what you get out. It seems like it's a perfect pathway for someone who maybe needs a bit of structure, needs like kind of maybe enjoys that like education structure and actually might not want to just kind of go off and do their own thing. It sounds like here you're going to get mentoring, you're going to be kind of handheld in a good way though.
Yeah,
Um, but it's an environment and a company where you can really grow and thrive and learn quickly.
yeah, absolutely. So there will be a lot of support along the way, and there's lots of objectives that the individuals would be expected to meet. So we have 6 monthly objective reviews, which in turn unlocks that salary increase. But it's just to make sure that they are performing in a way that is sustainable as well. And so that's that constant growth mindset in terms of like continuing to improve and therefore having the support that they need. We can really keep close. If they're struggling, then we can make sure that we're providing them the right support at the right time as well, so
Yeah.
that they're not struggling for a long time and then it gets to the end of the program and they're not ready. But ultimately, at the end of these 2 years, if you've been performing throughout, there'll be a permanent job for you at the end
Yeah.
of that program. So it's really, we obviously want the individuals to stay. We're going to put lots of time and effort into your career and your development. So we want you to stay at the end of those 2 years, and therefore we'll give you everything that you need to kind of help you get there.
And I want to highlight again that you guys aren't looking for degrees, which is fantastic. So someone who is a school leaver can join. Is that from 16? Or do you have to be
So Um, I guess you'd have to be 18 and able to
18?
join
Okay.
the organisation. So I suppose that maybe at the end of sixth form, etc., that you'll
Yeah.
be ready to join the business. But yes, you don't need a degree. As I mentioned, the only sort of requirements is sort of being in close proximity to our London office, because you would be expected to be in there 2 to 3 days a week. The rest of that time could be spent working from home, or of course you can come into the office more if you like. We're open 5 days a week, so I guess that's one of the entry requirements, and of course the right to work in the UK as well. But
Yeah.
outside of that, we don't ask for a degree, we don't ask for work experience, we won't even look at a CV, or we don't ask for a CV either. So we really focus on those skills and that potential of what that individual could bring to the business.
And so if someone is really interested in applying, how can they stand out in the application process?
Yeah, so as part of our process, the initial stage would be to complete some online assessment. So that's our way of understanding how that individual aligns with those skills that we're looking for. We then move those candidates who have scored the very best out of those assessments through to a short online interview. And that's really where you can really stand out from the crowd and really show your motivation, your passion, why you want to come and work for Danone, why that role is for you, how you're going to bring those skills or your passion and energy to that particular role. So that's a really good moment to step out from the crowd and really show what you're about, how you're going to contribute to our mission at Danone. Um, what we then do is we then look at the scores from both that interview and the online assessments, and that determines who's going to attend our assessment centre. So our assessment centre is a 1 day virtual assessment. So it takes place over Teams, so very similar to this. And there's lots of different assessments throughout the day. So there's a few assessed activities, a couple of non-assessed activities as well. And again, during those interviews, there's a real opportunity to shine and showcase your skills and your experience, whatever your experience is, kind of showcase those experiences and help bring your passion, that creative mindset of how you're going to add value, or what you could bring to Danone.
Amazing. And lastly, because we're running out of time, what is your one piece of advice that you would give your younger self or someone starting out?
Yeah, so I didn't go to university, so I actually did 1 year of sixth form and left school, and then went into full-time employment shortly after that. So um, my advice would be curious. So I joined on, as I mentioned, about 10.5 years ago in a very entry-level role in our customer service team on the healthcare side of our business. And I joined thinking my goal was to be a manager. And so for about 6 years, I worked really hard, and I got to a manager's level. And then I realized actually this wasn't the role that I was expecting, or it wasn't the role for me. It was a great role, but it wasn't quite what I wanted to do. But I loved working for Danone. And I was like, do I stay here and continue doing this role? But it's not really my passion. I'm not really enjoying it as much as I wanted to. Um, so therefore, it was just about being curious, and therefore I worked with lots of different teams, and one of the teams was the HR talent team, which I now sit in. And I was really interested in what they were doing, and a role become available. And I was just curious and got to know the team. I did a little bit of work with the team, recruiting, so I could start to build some of those skills that I would have needed to move into that team. And when a role became available, I was able to kind of put my hat in the ring and request that role. And I applied, and I was successful after going through a process. And that's kind of how I got into the talent team. But even to my role now, I didn't know anything about employer branding or early careers. And there was an opportunity to look after it. And I just put my hat in the ring and said, look, I find this really interesting. I would love to do this. I'm happy to do whatever learning I need to do in order to get me there. And it was just having that curiosity to say, look, I'm really willing. I've got the passion. I'm going to put all of my time and effort into making it successful. So I think it was just about showing my passion and really demonstrating to my managers why I wanted that role. And I guess I didn't just say I want it and they gave it to me. I really had to put in some work and really kind of showcase why I thought that was the right role for me and how I was going to bring the right skills or experience to that role to help the business develop. And so, yeah, that's my advice. Just be curious, ask lots of questions, and get to know different teams. And yeah, don't be afraid about taking on a new challenge because if it's not right for you, there's lots of different opportunities. But just think about the skills or experience you're going to gain by just taking on that new
Yeah.
opportunity.
No, that's a great piece of advice. And just finally, sorry, I keep having loads more questions for you, Ron. Because you said you left sixth form after, or like you left school, didn't go to uni. And at that point, is it because you weren't enjoying like the academic side of it? And were you at that point like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Like, because I feel like there's probably a lot of people who are similar in a similar position.
Yeah.
Um, and maybe just talk a bit about like how you were feeling at that moment, and then now knowing that you've ended up working, in this fantastic position and company that you would not have known back then that this is where you.
Yeah. So thinking of creative mindset, actually, I went down a very creative route at school. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I just picked the subjects I loved. So for GCSE and A level, I did art, music, and then my third A level actually was IT. And so I was doing those as A levels, and I was enjoying it. But I was thinking, I don't want to go to university to do art, music, or IT. Like I enjoy them, but it's not the career I wanted to go for, even though I wasn't sure what my career was. And I was also kind of the oldest in the year. So at the end of year 12, I was almost about to turn 18. And I was thinking, I don't know if I just want to stay on and do another year because is it really going to add lots of value to myself or to my career? And I guess I also wanted to go out and start earning my own money as well. So I left and went and took on a full-time role in customer service. That's kind of all I knew. And I just thought, you know, I'm just going to work my way up until a manager's position and then I'll be ready. And that's kind of the mindset I took. But it was just about continual development and continual learning. So even thinking about, I spent about 2.5 years working for Boots, the chemist, and I started off as a Christmas temp and just did lots of different roles, ended up working in the pharmacy. So, again, throughout my career, it's just about being curious and taking on new opportunities. And therefore, they've kind of unlocked for me. So, I would say I was scared because I didn't know what I wanted my career to be. But in hindsight, I would say don't be worried about it because you just find new opportunities. And it's okay to change careers just because you're doing sort of a career for now, it doesn't mean that you have to do it for the next 5, 10 years or so, because we're working for a long time. So therefore, you need to make sure you've got the energy and the passion for what you're trying to do. So yeah, continue to be curious and don't worry if you haven't got your plan figured out right now, because you will find your plan and you'll find where you need to go.
Love that. Oh, well, thank you so much, Ryan. Really, really enjoyed that. Hope you did too. And we will obviously be recording this, putting this on demand. So I'm sure lots of people will be watching it back. But yes, just want to say thank you for being our first speaker of the morning. And we will hopefully see you again.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good
Bye,
day.
Ryan.
Bye bye.